favor if it's okay. I'd like to do a little video of anyone, thanks, that's dressed in cosplay. Buffy, which is a lot of you. It's gonna be a and then after that, I put that on social media, but at the end of it, I'd like to give them a big round of applause. Where are you guys? So, when I yell action, raise your arms and scream like the Rams just won the binky, right? Not the Rams. Charger. Okay, ready? Everybody ready? Hi, Buffy. Okay, ready to go. And action.
You're all famous. Okay, so I don't know if we have a microphone out there. You guys might have to shout, which is it's kind of fun.
Okay, so you guys can ask me anything that you want. Hello, Juliet. This is just me.
There's nothing off limits. I am shameless, so if I'm going to try to embarrass me, bring it. I may not answer anything that you guys come up with, though, but I'll just tell you, yeah, I'm not going to answer that. But yeah, who's the bravest person in the room? Yeah, what's up?
Hi, my name is Suzette. This is Sam. My daughter, she's new to the Buffy world. I just had a question about, obviously we all love the musical episode, as far as how you thought of like what you wanted to bring to that episode since it goes to the robot and everything, but to make it more Spike and just in general, who were your musical influences?
Yeah, my reaction to the musical was, let's not do the musical. The entire cast, we were like, what are you doing? Like, we're working 20 hours a day, we have a good thing here. Nobody's doing a musical. Like Tony Head and I, we were comfortable singing publicly, right? Tony Head, he played Frankenfurter on the West End. Right, so he was down, right? And I was already in a band, Ghost the Robot, so I was cool singing publicly. The rest of the cast had a very good argument. They were like, you're making me do something that I'm not professionally trained at in front of millions of people. You're gonna ruin my career. It's a good argument, right? Like Sarah asked if she could juggle live chainsaws. She was not kidding. She was like, that would be safer for my career. And so I was comfortable like singing, but I just thought the songs were bad. I was wrong, but listen to this. Okay, so the reason for that is that the first time I heard the songs was a little cassette tape that Joss gave us, and it was him singing the songs, and plunking it out on the piano. And as a singer, Joss is a really good writer. And there's no writing that can withstand bad acting or bad performance. Like the best example of this is Shakespeare, right? He's the best author in the world, and the worst thing in the world is a bad Shakespeare play. It's the most painful thing in the world. So not even Shakespeare can overcome bad performance. So Joss is like, and I'm like, what the fuck? What? And I take it out of my cassette thing in my trailer, and I go out in the sunshine, and it's all bright, and I'm like, to the other cat, everyone else is coming out at the same time, by the way. They're just like, everyone's going. So, it's really one of my favorite episodes because after all of the gnashing of the teeth and us trying to get out of it, suddenly I started, this is a few weeks before we started filming, I started noticing all of these vocal coaches and movement coaches and dance coaches showing up to the cast, who had hired these people out of their own pocket. And we decided, as a group, even though we knew we were going to fail, even though the show was going to get canceled and we were all going to be humiliated throughout the world. Oh! Now we got the show.
Can you guys hear me? I had to eat. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So basically, one of the reasons I love that episode so much is that we decided to go down swinging. We decided that even though we were sure we were going to fail, we were going to try anyway, and we were not going to give up. And I think that the theme of Buffy, which is one of the reasons I love it so much, is it's hard to be a human being, but it's worth it. The world is not perfect. It's really messed up out there, but keep going. Don't give up. And I think that that's a profoundly useful thing to be saying. So, for at least one episode, we Hollywood actors actually lived up to the theme. So, yeah. So let's do this for real.
Hey guys, sorry we were late. We just had to stop for a second. I just want to say this one intro. I've always wanted to say this. In the 1960s, there was a movie called Bonnie and Clyde, directed by Arthur Penn, but Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway. And the poster read, "They are young, they're in love, and they kill people." You know who these people are, so I'm not going to go through a description of them. I just want to start the panel. Juliet, talk about being cast as Drew.
Oh, okay. So I went in for a meeting. I actually had gotten the pages for the audition, and I was on the phone with a friend of mine who was a talent manager. And at the time, I was doing a lot of different movies. I had just done Tim Burton's Ed Wood and stuff, and she said to me, "Oh, I don't think you should go on that." And I said, "It seems really interesting. I'm going to go." And I'm so happy I did not listen to my friend Dana. Or we would not be sitting here today having this conversation. And what was amazing is I went in, I thought it was going to be an audition, and actually it was a meeting. And Joss had seen my work in Ed Wood and a movie I did with Whoopi Goldberg, and it was David Greenwalt, who is here today. It was Marcia Schulman, who was the head of 20th Century Fox Studios casting, and Gail Berman. And we proceeded to have the most creative, incredible meeting, just bouncing ideas off of each other. I did a little bit of Drew in the room because they said Drusilla could be English or she could be American. And I said, "Oh, she has to be English because of her age in terms of everything, and it really would work." And they said, "Yes, if we can get a Spike who can do an English accent, we really want to go that way." And I think I sort of wafted up to the ceiling in the middle and started to talk to it in her sing-song way. And they said, "Oh my God, that's it." And before I left the lot, I literally had not even gotten to my car. I had my car keys. I was searching my car keys, and my phone rang, and my agent said, "They hired you." And I said, "Are you sure? I'm still here." Yes, they definitely hired you. And then they paired me with the final choices for Spike. And the moment that James came in, we just, first of all, he was Southern, because he thought the character was Southern. They said, "Oh, we actually want the character to be English." And I said, "Yes, it has to be English." And immediately, James changed on a dime and became the Spike that we know. And we just had the most palpable, incredible acting chemistry from the get-go in his audition. The audition was with the Anointed One. And what's funny is we were talking to one another, and we kept ignoring the Anointed One. We kept looking at each other like we might kiss, and we ended up with our foreheads coming together. And at a certain point, we were like, "Oh yeah, we're talking to him," and we turned out. And so when James was cast, what was really fun is having a theater background, as we both do. We got together and we would rehearse, especially season 2. We got the scripts a week in advance. And so for the first episode, I remember you came over and we were like, "What was that happened in your audition? It was so great. We have to be sure to put it in." And then we did, and we shot it that way. And then what was really fun is that when they promoted the new season, they showed a clip of the two of us, our heads coming together, our foreheads touching. We turned out, and the MC said, "Evil has a few new faces." For us, I don't know, I can't speak for you. For me, it was because it came out of a really kinetic poetic, moment-to-moment acting moment that was so true. The fact that it became that promo was really special.
That's the thing, because the original, when we did it the first time, it was completely organic in my memory, right?
Yes.
We didn't plan it.
No.
It just happened in the
But
audition.
we couldn't have planned it because we didn't know each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, the only reason I'm sitting on this couch is because you liked me. I'm serious. Like the whole plan of that season. What is it okay if I go?
Yeah, go.
So like the
Try to stop him.
the whole thing for that season is Buffy and Angel. Don't even like to think about it, but you know. And he goes evil, kills me, takes up with the new girlfriend who's Drew, so that Buffy can get her heart broken, right? So they were just looking for someone for a few episodes that you meshed with, and I was that guy. And if you had been like, no, I don't like it very much, I would not be here at all.
Well, it really was an incredible. Yeah, we had fun writing.
Because we both came from theater, so we spoke the same language. We had the same passion, the same ability to look at each moment as a beat and turn corners and do all of that stuff, man, that you just can't get with anybody else. But I mean, okay, so this is the thing. Like, I was out in the audition area. I had come to Los Angeles so proud. I was of the opinion that there are actors and they do theater, and there are people who want to be stars and they're here. And I am an actor. So I was in the audition room doing Macbeth soliloquies to the wall, thinking that...
I saw you talking to the wall.
You know,
I thought he's not Drew. What's he doing?
yeah, I was more Drew than you. So like, I'm thinking that I'm just freaking all the other actors. Oh my God, he's a real actor. We're in trouble now. They just thought I was crazy. So, but I think that arrogance and that pride probably helped me in the audition, you know. But I remember when I met you, I was like, oh, because the thing about Juliet is, like all really good actors, when I look in your eyes, I don't know what's about to happen. Like I know what the script is, but the little tiny things that happen between people are absolutely different every time, and I have no clue what's about to happen. And that's when magic can happen.
Well, that was one of the fun things. Oh, sorry, we're not letting you ask, but that was one of the fun things about getting to rehearse is that instead of often on television, it's very fast for shooting. So you basically don't get much rehearsal. You get what's called a blocking rehearsal, which is blocking is where you're moving and where the camera is moving, but it's not so much an acting rehearsal. So the fact that we could get together ahead of time and work, we were free to really live in the moment and explore stuff and discover stuff and be surprised, as opposed to just figuring out the shape of the scene by the time you're moving on to the next scene. So that made it really great.
But there's also something that's very interesting. You both have incredible chemistry with each other. Did you feel that chemistry immediately?
Yes, and I would say absolutely, yes.
There to this day, well, I've done it so long, but there's a part of Spike, the original dirty punk rock Spike.
The best Spike, no.
My favorite, right? That is not available unless you were on the set. It's just, I can't get to it without you, because I discovered it with you. And you can really, what is it? There's an episode where I'm all in love with Buffy and she's just whipping me up, you know, and then you come to town and all of a sudden, like, boom, Spike is back, like, sort of, but that was real. Like, I remember when you came, I was like, oh, thank God, I don't even know what this feels like anymore. Oh yeah, I remember that, yeah.
A question for both of you. I'm trying to actually think of a question James has never been asked. I'm trying to do that. What are some of your favourite on-screen chemistry between couples?
Ooh. Okay, let's see. I would say Marlon Brando and Eve Marie Saint On the Waterfront. I can always watch them. If it ever comes on, I'm sucked into the movie. When Harry Met Sally, I think Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan have great chemistry. It happened one night. is amazing with Claudette Colbert and
Clark.
Clark Gable. Oh my God, there's so many amazing people. Oh, the Thin Man series, did you guys know that one that they have?
Bogart McCall.
Yeah, yeah.
And Robert De Niro, John Savage, Deer Hunter, in the water, being forced to play Russian roulette. I can't do it! Just fucking do it! I'm gonna die! I can't do it, man! Oh my God, it's amazing.
Both talk about those season 2 scripts. What were they like to work on?
I mean, it was so fun because sometimes it was such a collaborative experience. Often we would come in with ideas and blocking, and then a lot of the time, if it didn't even make it into that episode, it would make it into another episode. So I remember that there was a particular episode I came up with the Drusilla cry. You know how Drusilla did the or she goes like that. And so I remember coming up with the Drusilla cry, and then I went to dailies. One of the things that we got to do is we got to watch what's called dailies, which is the footage that you've shot, and we would go at the end of each episode, so we weren't looking at it in between, and then seeing if we wanted to adjust stuff. So we'd go at lunch and we'd watch dailies together, and so I thought, oh, they didn't really like the cry, it didn't make it into the episode.
They let you watch the dailies. I was along for that ride. They would never have allowed me.
We went together.
Well, because I was with you, I got in the room. Yeah. It's true.
What was funny is then I get the script for the next one, and we were doing a table read, and it was really fun because we hadn't gotten the script before the table read, which sometimes we did, and we were sitting with the whole cast, and as I was reading the stage directions, it said, Drusilla makes that sound she makes when she might cry, and I was like, oh! And so it would work out, there would be things like that, like I did an episode surprise with Michael Lang, and I wanted to dance on the table, as one does, as Drew often does, and he said, oh, I had this really amazing shot that I wanted to start at the head of the staircase, a close-up on your eyes, and then you come down the staircase. And I said, oh, that sounds good. We can do that instead, of course. And we did that, and then I started, dancing in that whole sequence. And then later, the next episode, it literally, the director came in and said, so I heard you wanted to be dancing on the table. Why don't we do it in this scene? And so, yeah.
I found working on Buffy, season 2, 3, or 4, but I remember especially bracing at the beginning when we were together, because it was exhilarating because you get the scripts and they're so amazing, and then you put those scripts through the process of filming, which is really fast, and it's heartbreaking because the cut, print, move on, the whole crew picks up and you go to the next set. And I'm standing there with you going, I didn't get that beat.
And I'm always like, no, you got it. You really got
oh,
it.
Man. No, we missed that one little...
Me too. I'm like, oh, we were always obsessing
oh my God.
for sure.
And there's nobody left. We're alone on the set.
Yeah.
You're not going to go back.
We'd be like hours going, oh, you know what? Oh, wait, we better focus on the next scene.
But I mean, the truth was that there was just so much gold in those scripts that it was impossible on the schedule of filming. And we worked 12 to 20 hours a day, guys. So we were there a long time, but even with that many hours, you just couldn't get everything that was amazing on film. And so it was both. It was like, oh my God, we get to climb Everest. No, we didn't quite make it again. Yeah.
Julia, what does Spike mean to Drew?
Oh, gosh. Well, I mean, this was an epic. Who has had a love affair for over a century here? And that was one of the things in terms of us rehearsing right away too, is we felt like we needed to be so familiar with one another and have that history and bring that in and have that, palpable sexuality and sensuality between the characters, which was not as delineated in the scripts as it became because of what we also brought to it. But I think for Drew, I mean, Spike is she had been alone after being a vampire and gets to sire Spike and be together and have this, he's one of the only people that actually listens when I have a vision. No one else pays attention and they always come true. And also, Spike really often rescues Drusilla because she comes from a lot of trauma and sort of gets her out of those when she's going through a bad thing, like, oh, let's focus on the flowers or whatever it is, you know. And so I think that it was just such an incredible, I mean, for me, getting to play, yes, we were villains, but truly to have that other side of it where these characters that, you know, absolutely love one another's eyeballs to entrails and, you know, and have each other's back and are really have been through, you know, through all these different eras together. It just, it's amazing.
And James, with Spike, obviously he has other relationships with, I can't even mention in front of Juliet.
Didn't really work out very well, but yeah.
What does she mean to him? In season 2, and then maybe take us through to the end where he changes.
Well, I can take it all the way through Slayers, actually.
Yeah.
First love. And it's weird because they told me in no uncertain terms that I was playing a soulless, heartless vampire who cared about no one and nothing. And like they told me, you're here, you are definitely dead, kid. I don't care how popular you are. So one of the producers like put me up against the wall. You are dead, you hear me? You're dead. Okay? But they said, you know, at least 5 episodes, but if it goes really well, we'll give you 10. But so between 5 and 10. And I was very poor at that time, and I just had a son, and I wanted 10. Because I wanted this thing called healthcare. No lie. So they told me I'm soulless and I don't care for anybody. And I was like, you got it, anything you want. They turn their back and I'm like, F that, man. Because if I play it that way, I'm only getting 5. Because the way to connect with the audience is you got to find the love, man. And it doesn't have to be love on with puppy dogs and happy love. It could be love betrayed, love denied, love frustrated. But love has to be there somewhere if you want to connect with the audience. So it was pretty obvious that the love was for you. And on the page, it seemed like Spike was not that nice to you all the time. And I just decided to undercut the heck out of that. Because I think that the thing was, they wanted, when Angel killed me off, they wanted the audience to be like, yeah, he deserves to die. I think that was the plan. So, like, a lot of those scripts, like, I remember you're on a table, we're inside, and you're looking at stars, and I'm like, also, Drew, that's the ceiling, it's not the stars. And on the page, he's kind of a douche, you know? And I was like, I'm going to undercut that completely. And I was like, oh, I love that about you, though. You can see the stars anyway. And I just absolutely flipped it. But I think that you're right. I think that they might have, oftentimes writers are not conscious of the direction that they're ultimately going. And they think that they want something, when in fact, there's a deeper voice in them that is wanting something else. And the love was in there for the characters in the beginning. Even though they told me, you don't love anyone, in the scripts, that door was so open. And I just took that, I took that door, man, and writing straight into that door. And then, you know, then you get all the way into Slayers, and Spike now has a soul, and I'm sorry, baby, but you don't. and yet there is this...
A bit cumbersome.
But what that means is there is a relationship of more than a century of love that's pulling on Spike and Slayers. And you got your claws in me. Those claws will never come out. And you want me to go back and be evil. And it's very tempting.
Yeah, betrayal.
You know,
I was just going to say one thing when you were talking about the whole thing with chemistry is I just think that chemistry is eminently watchable. It's something that we, as viewers, when you watch a movie or you watch a TV series or you watch a play, it's something that we love to watch. We love to watch chemistry between people. And it doesn't have to be a sexual chemistry. It's just when you see people connecting. It's something, and if it is a romantic connection, we love that feeling in our own lives. We love that connecting to other human beings. And so I think when actors have chemistry on screen, it's something that we light up about, because it's something that we just need to watch and to experience in our own lives as well. So I think that's part of the power of that.
Yeah, and you can't fake it. It either is or is not.
I faked it here and there.
Really? Maybe you can.
But never with you, Jones. But never with you.
Someone might be coming on it soon. Maybe. But, you know, one of the co-hosts is Drusilla, and, you know, she's Scooby-Drew. The Scooby Gang, Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Drew. And the thing is that I sort of go back and forth, literally, between the characters. I find it really easy. It was the same thing for us. I mean, really coming back together, it's like it's just there. I mean, we really can't, it's like a shorthand that we just pick up immediately. And it is always like a dance or a ping pong match, or, you know, and again, what James was saying earlier, the surprises, like, oh, he's gonna go there, oh, I'm gonna go there, oh, this is gonna happen. And so much happened when we picked up again, where we were laughing and we were crying, and we were, of course, the funny part was we were, of course, making out a lot, but we were across the room and having to do, like, kissing sounds on our own hands for the audiobook. That was a bit weird.
Because I had a cold. This is during COVID, and I came in. I caught a cold, and I didn't know if it was COVID yet because we didn't have tests. This is way back before we even had tests, and so I was like, "We're screwed." So if I give this to anybody else, this thing's gonna come crashing down. So just put me in an isolation booth, and I'll just do my stuff from the isolation booth. And I just remember this one scene where you bring me to tears. So bad, I can't have you. And I remember just feeling that connection, even though you were way across the room, and I'm in this little booth, and it's right there.
Yeah.
And I just loved watching you be the big bad, by the way.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Let's just let Juliet drive the train today, baby. We're gonna be okay. You know, yeah.
Both of you, what do you think Drew and Spike are doing now in 2025?
Well, Drusilla is on the podcast, and the funny thing about it is she's really becoming a diva. I mean, she thinks that she is the headliner. She calls me Minion Juliet all the time. I mean, and she's having quite a time, I think, and she definitely lends her very distinct POV into the mix. So we sometimes let her do the synopsis, and it's just so wrong. It's completely wrong. Yeah, so that's what
Juliet also gets jealous of her.
I do. This is the funny thing. I say that, so Dev is my husband, for any of you who don't know, and he's Watcher Dev on the podcast, because he's English. But I will say things where I'm like, Dev, you know, Drusilla gets all the fun stuff. And he says, you do realize that you're both people, right? And I'll be like, you know, the fans keep saying they really like Scooby-Drew. They like Drew so much better than me. You do realize that you're being jealous of your own alter ego? There's something wrong there.
I think Spike is probably a demon slayer now. He's got a soul, and he's probably traveling town to town looking for evil, because he does like to kill. And he's probably avoiding you very much, because
I'm going to bring you back to the dark side.
Well, and he would never kill you.
Well, you almost did.
How could I watch you?
You almost did on an episode.
Almost is very different.
You see him pretty willing.
I was very frustrated at that time. But I mean, in all seriousness, I could see Spike really trying to do good in the world, but very, very aware that A, he couldn't kill you, and B, he couldn't watch you do what you do, killing innocent people. And so he's probably just like, if he knows that you're in Atlanta, he is not in Atlanta.
Look, they're not innocent, but they're dinner. I mean, a girl does have to eat. What do you want?
So you think he's on a redemption arc?
Yeah, very much. And I think it's a very rocky road. I think he's trying not to give up. He's trying to help out in this world, and I think that he often finds himself making it worse. That's the problem. He's like, Buffy always finds the way to do the right thing, and he doesn't have that magic. So he tries to do the right thing, loses his temper, and blows it up. That's what I think.
So, obviously I can't imagine anybody else playing Spike, but you guys brought up the audition, and I can't help but wonder, are there any names that you remember who were in the room?
So, no, in terms of nobody known, and actually there was an actor that came in who was not as good as you were. He did a really good job, interesting job. He actually looked a little like David Boreanaz, but he came in 25 to 30 minutes late for the audition and did not apologize. Because things happen if someone says, oh my God, I'm sorry, or this happened, or I was stuck in anything. Didn't apologize. And it was really interesting for me being on that side of things, and I'm not late for stuff, but just looking at it and going, wow, they liked him. Thank goodness they didn't, because this is a way better
God,
thing.
I was on time.
But you had that time to talk to the wall and everything. But he really cost himself a job, and I always wondered about him because he was a good-looking guy. He did a really good audition, and the minute he left, they were like, nope, there's no way we would hire him. He would cost us too much, because on filmmaking, literally the saying is time is money, because it's really expensive for all of the crew and everything. And so that actor, I always wondered what happened to him, and that he probably didn't compute that he cost himself the job. But it also was a whole different level when James came in.
James, just quickly, when you read that first script, did it immediately jump out to you that this is something beyond special? This is something you don't get in Hollywood?
It was a little more slow dawning than that, because all I got initially for the audition was the one scene.
Yeah, pages.
And I remember thinking, that's a really good scene. Like, I think I can drive this train. Like, this is good. And Spike was one of those roles where most roles take me at least 3 days of filming before I really feel like I'm sat down in it and I know how to drive that thing. But with Spike, I was like, oh, hell yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, this is going to work. This is going to work. But then they cast me and they sent me the full script, and I'm like, honey, I'm all through this thing. Oh, my God. Is this a better role than I thought it was one scene. I had no idea.
Yeah, so, even when I went in for the meeting, that's why my friend Dana said don't go, because I literally only had a couple pages of it, but I was like, no, this is really interesting writing. I mean, that's the thing that I don't know if you have. With anything, when you work on Shakespeare, or you work on Clifford Odets, or you work on John Patrick Shanley, with theater work, when it's well written, it just sort of goes in. And the same thing, like Buffy was so well written that it's not hard to learn it or embody it because it's so well done.
Like, when the writing is good, it carries me to shore like a warm wave. And when the writing is not good, it's like humping a corpse up a frozen mountain. And you can't get up, and you kill yourself trying.
I never quite thought of it like that.
Let's
But I do know what you mean.
Buffy was just like, oh, just give over to it. It'll just carry you right along. Yeah.
Hi.
By the way, quick thing. So, you can really see that Spike hates Angel, right? That was real. Because the thing is, we would rehearse, and I'd go over to your house and we'd rehearse, and I fell in love with you as a friend right away. We became close right away, right? But we never were romantic off the set. But because of that trust that we formed as friends, that meant that the romance on film really could be explored in a safe way, right? And my girlfriend hated you. Because I'm always like, I'm going over to Juliet, she's amazing. And then I wasn't clocking that she was being driven crazy. So one day she's like, you know what, I have a crush on Angel. And I hated David, oh my God. But it worked.
She was on set all the time.
I know.
Oh, is that why?
I don't know if she actually... The world had a crush on David. How could she not, No, but she told me about it, so I hated his ass. So, but it worked. It worked. It's good for the show. Yeah.
Next question.
Hi there. Hi, guys. My name's Andrea. We're visiting from England, and first of all, we came here just for this, just to see you guys. So thank you. And I wanted to say congratulations on both your accents, because for years I had no idea you guys were American.
I did grow up in England. I spent my formative years in England, so
That would make sense.
And I watched a lot of Monty Python. So.
So, well, I've introduced my son who has autism to Buffy. He's 15, so he is the second generation watching. And he is loving Spike, and he wants to know, with the reboot coming, what are the chances that we're going to be seeing Spike and Drusilla again?
I have been told, in no uncertain terms, that I need to shut my damn mouth after reboot. And I would not say that you should take anything from that. It's just that we are trying. No, well, let's see. It is very important. Okay. How many people snuck into your mom's closet to see what we got for Christmas? And then on Christmas Day, you're like, well, I already knew I was getting. And Christmas loses its shine. So we got to keep the bow on till Christmas Day, guys. Because what I will say is that the people behind the camera are some of the best people in Hollywood. Like Chloe Zhao, who is directing the pilot. She did an amazing character-driven independent film.
Francis McDormand film?
Yeah, what's the name of it?
Nomadland.
Nomadland, right? So she understands all about intimate, character-driven drama. And she also directed a Marvel movie, man. Like, she's one of the most sought-after directors in Hollywood. And the people that are gonna, the duo, are they sisters, man? They have the same last name. Sisters? Okay, so they're the showrunners for the show, assuming it gets picked up, which all. Their current show is Poker Face, which is one of my favorite shows on all of television. They're some of the most sought-after people in Hollywood. And a screenwriter friend of mine, she goes, James, every screenwriter in Hollywood is a Buffy fan. A lot of us decided to become screenwriters because of Buffy. So there is a feeding frenzy down in Los Angeles right now. Everyone is trying to get on the show, everybody, and so they're going to have their pick of anybody that they want. So there's a lot of reason to be excited, but there's also a good reason to wait until it's on television.